is up? Miss Rovito here got wide receiver one room, Zach Rom here, Castleblack, Brian Bruner on my right, and we are going to do the second volume of Blood, Sweat, and Tears. A little bit more about us and why you should be listening to us and our opinions. Are we why are we in the fantasy space, and like how did we get to the Fantasy Holics fan page? So we'll start with Brian on your fantasy football background.
Sure, absolutely. So I believe my first year playing was I got pulled into a redraft league at this lumberyard home supply center I was working at in like 2006 or 7. I can't pinpoint the exact year, but it was either 2006 or 2007. So I'm at that, 18 or so years in at this point. Pure redraft, didn't know anything. Just my buddies at my work needed a guy, and they knew I was a football fan, and that was it. And I was hooked immediately. Like, it was, I guess smartphones were out at that point, but I literally didn't even own a smartphone. So I remember it was a Monday to Friday gig, and Friday before leaving for work, I would duck into the office at the lumberyard and sit down at like ESPN.com and like set my lineup, and then watching NFL Countdown, noon on Sunday. If there was a surprise announced out, I'd have to call my commissioner and tell him, hey, take Jamal Lewis out of my lineup and put in, running back X or whatever. Yes, that was legit my first like year or two of fantasy, and then that league still exists. Me and almost the same group of core dudes have done an in-person draft every year, including COVID year. We social distance, but we were in the same basement doing our draft, and yeah, so that's how I got into it, and fell in love with Dynasty 5 or 6 years ago with the Fantasy Holics page. How I got into the Fantasy Holics page was prior to everybody that's there now being there. I jumped on it with a guy named Zach that started the page that we ended up having a falling out with, and he ungraciously exited, but Average Joe and a lot of the guys that have been around, we kind of just kept it going from there. So I'm technically the original admin on that page, even prior to everybody else. But
wow,
yeah, man. So that's been, I want to say 9 or 10 years, I guess, that I've been involved with that entity. And Dynasty really took my life over 6 or so years ago when we started a Fantasy Holics Dynasty League, and now I've gone wild and I play in 60 or so leagues and put a lot of time and effort and money into it, and it's it pays me back. I enjoy it so much. I make a profit every year so far. Maybe one year I won't, and I'll really start regretting things. But I just love it. It's one of my favorite hobbies. I can't get enough of it. I listen to so much content. I write content. I bullshit with you guys all day in the chat. I bullshit with the dudes from South Harmon in their Discord and their chat and all the different leagues I'm in, and I just can't get enough of it, man. So I've been wanting to do a podcast for years. Finally got enough of a kick in the ass from you guys talking about it in the chat that that here we are. So yeah, man, I like to say that there's plenty of people smarter than me and better at me than this, but I'll be damned to try to find me somebody that spends more fucking hours and listens to more content and plays in more leagues and puts more of their own money and time on the line than I do. And
Amen.
it's all educated guessing, and I'm as educated in this as anybody I've ever known. So I'm definitely wrong on the reg, like everybody, but I'm at least coming with a lot of data and real world practices when I give a take on somebody. And then I guess lastly, just on a personal level, my name is Brian. Go by Castleblack on the page. Do the waiver wires article every week. Some random funny memes here and there, but I'm from the Philadelphia area. I lived down right outside of Philly most of my life. I moved about an hour north, right outside of Allentown, about 6 years ago, and I still live up this way. I love playing the drums. That's me on the intro,
Yes.
being a mediocre drummer. I love fantasy football, obviously. I love fishing. I'm big into fishing, so those are probably my main hobbies. I'm a dad. I've got 2 adult kids. They're 20 and 23, so no changing diapers for me anymore. Yeah, man, but I've rambled enough about me and my nonsense, so you two go ahead and on to you guys.
Zach, on to you.
Sounds good. So I first kind of started fantasy football back in a similar time, about 2006, maybe 2007. It was back when I was what was it? End of middle school, early high school for me.
Hey, good boy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Back. Yeah, I just turned 33 last weekend. So yeah, Yeah. Let's see. It was one of my best friends still today. He needed an extra person to play in fantasy football. I'm like, sure, I watch football, and I joined. And my greatest accomplishment in football today was a free league. I won it the first year playing fantasy football, and then afterwards we were talking about it. He's like, yeah, I tried to get this person on waivers, that person on waivers, this, and I'm like, what's waivers? He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I don't know. He's like, yeah, that's where you can pick up free agents. Like you can change members on your team. I'm like, you can do that?
Oh, you can
like
add people.
I won my first year with the team I drafted.
Nice.
Wow.
Not a single change, nothing. I don't think I could ever repeat that. But I love that that's how I started my fantasy football career, and I've been playing in pretty much a fantasy league ever since. I started Dynasty about 4 years ago. It was Drake London, Breece Hall were rookies when I was in a couple startups, and that's when I really started diving into it. And after that year, I just went headlong into it. It's something that really took my attention, the ability to keep your players, to really build your team and not just restart every year, not just focus on 1 year at a time. Like being able to build something up is something that I absolutely love doing. And so that's where I have 1 or 2 redraft leagues still, just with some college buddies and such, but everything from here on out is dynasty leagues for me, just because of that aspect to it. And then this is my first year with the Fantasy Holics, actually. It's been only a couple months. How that really started, I have to tip my hat to a different one of the Fantasy Holic new members, Tier 1 quarterback. Is last year we started talking a ton from one of our leagues, and he was explaining, I have a quarterback model, trying to predict quarterbacks, and I'm like, that's really cool. Talk to me about it. And I started doing that for wide receivers. And I took the entire last year to really fine-tune my wide receiver model, dive into how it predicts the potential success of rookies coming into the NFL. And I'm really glad I didn't put it out last year, because I was missing a few key aspects. You know, my model last year was saying draft Jermaine Burton, Ricky Pearsall, and fade Ladd McConkey and Brian Thomas.
Pearsall's good. Pearsall's good. I'll give you that.
To be determined, but yeah, he has a lot of potential. But the takes of fading Ladd, fading Brian Thomas Jr. last year I'm glad I didn't share that publicly. But I realized there were a couple of aspects to my model I was missing. Like my data was good, but the problem is how you read it. That was what I was realizing, is like, it's not just here it is, it's how do I understand it? So that's where I used the entire offseason to fine tune it. And come February, March, I started sharing what my rankings were, sharing player profiles, kind of sharing what it was. And that's where it caught the attention of a couple of the Fantasy Holic members. And I kind of joined on from there, and I've absolutely loved it. I've dove head on. You can see my player profiles I've shared. I have it on my X account as well. I have more. I'll be sharing more, and I'm doing a lot of the clips and stuff for this podcast. I'm loving every minute of it. So I'm very, very happy to be here, and happy that this is kind of the next journey in my fantasy football career.
Yeah, totally.
Happy to have you, buddy.
Yeah,
definitely.
Thanks, guys.
Definitely glad to have you. So I guess I'm the oldest one here. I didn't expect to be the oldest one here, but
I'm 63 years old, Pat. Come on.
no, you're
No,
not.
no.
So I really did not watch football growing up. My parents were a baseball only Mets household. Both my parents are from New York. And then the strike happened, and I started playing street hockey. So I was a baseball and hockey only kid growing up. Even though my parents are from New York, my dad's a Cowboys fan. I don't know how that happened, but so my only football memories growing up is the Dolphins Cowboys snow game on Thanksgiving and the Cowboys Steelers Super Bowl in like '96. That's the only football memories I have as a child. And somehow on my hockey team when I was like 20 years old, they're like, hey, we need one more person for fantasy football. I'm like, I really don't know much at all about football, but sure, I will join your league. I was hooked. Like, I
So
didn't
fucking
know
fun.
anything about football at all. The only thing I knew was like Peyton Manning was in his second or third year, and so I took Peyton Manning second or third overall. When taking a quarterback second or third overall was kind of cool and fun.
Yeah, it's not Superflex.
Went to this. No, oh my lord, no.
Superflex didn't exist back then.
One QB, no PPR. I
Standard.
went
Oh,
to
shit.
the Super Bowl my first year with Peyton Manning. I got Sean Alexander on waivers, and like this is awesome. Like it hooked, just hooked, and that's what led me here. Started with the Fantasy Holics in I want to say like
A couple years, I think, right?
October or November of 2022.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, been here a little bit. Loved every second of it, and here we are.
So, guys, I like and dislike based on their ADP. I'm gonna give it to you in dynasty terms. So, I guess the first guy that I like at ADP, that I think people are fading just a little bit, and this is a guy at the top of draft still. So we're not deep diving here, but it's excuse me, the Sun God. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown. My guy has been lighting the NFL on fire since that back end of his rookie season. He finished wide receiver 21 as a rookie with basically not even playing until like the middle of the season almost. If you look at his game log, I mean, he just kind of came out of nowhere, nuclear, won some people titles. And people dogged him a little bit because of the low draft capital, and it was a fluke. And I think some guys got hurt, so he was kind of the only target, so he got faded.
Yeah.
And then after finishing his 21 as a rookie, he's proceeded to go wide receiver 7, 3, 3.
Yeah.
Dude's on a rock solid offense. Very, very little injury in his past. He's missed 1 or 2 games, I think. I mean, you can vet me on that, but he's pretty available. Wide receiver 7, 3, 3. He's 25, 26, I want to say, without pulling up his profile. Dude is awesome. And then the reason why I want to say that I like him is he's going kind of low for all those things I just mentioned. Looking in startup drafts, where's he at here? He is looking like 15th overall, wide receiver 5. Sure, he's getting respect. People aren't cutting him or sleeping on him so much, but the players I see right now currently in startups I'm doing that are getting taken ahead of him, I see Ashton Genty getting taken over him. I see Brock Bowers getting taken over him, and I also see Brian
Raiders.
Thomas, and Puka sometimes getting taken over him.
Yeah.
And, all those guys are up there for a reason, and people could come on and, dispute me on why all four of those guys are ahead of Amon-Ra. But to me, in PPR, in half PPR, in pretty much any other lineup, small lineup, big lineup, best ball, give me Amon-Ra a good, few spots over where he's going. I think he's getting slept on. I see him going, earlier to mid-second round is kind of become like his resting spot. Like a lot of people will go like Malik Neighbors, and then you can get Amon-Ra as your second. I just love him at that price. I wanted to bring him up first because it's not that spicy of a take, or everybody loves Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I think he has slipped a little bit, and he is by no means getting old, or there's any reason to not like him, at least as far as I'm concerned. So give me all the Amon-Ra at this current value.
I love Amon-Ra. It's the will losing Ben Johnson make that big of a deal? That's
Sure.
The only question mark. I hope not.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra's so good. He's like one of my favorite players.
He's got the dog, capital
Yeah.
D in him.
He's got that dog
Look at
in him.
interviews with him, and he wants to win. He wants to show everybody that he's as good as he claims he is, and he is, man. He's a beast. The Ben Johnson thing is definitely one of the reasons that he's slipped a little bit, I think. But I don't think they're trying to reinvent the wheel. Johnny Morton is who they brought in. He was with this staff originally. He left for a year, I believe, and he's back. So I don't think they're all of a sudden going to look at that roster and go, okay, well let's change this up a lot. They have a winning formula.
Not target one of the best receivers in the league. Probably not going to happen.
I think Goff still would target him, even if the coaching staff told him not to. Like, he knows who butters his bread.
Yeah, exactly. When we're talking about top 15 ADP, when you're talking about going 2 slots earlier, 3 slots earlier, that's not insignificant. Like, when you're talking that high in drafts, sometimes that's you got to move an early second to move up 2 or 3 spots. Sometimes, depending on what tier breaks you're at, if you're looking at the top 3 of Lamar, Allen, Jaden Daniels, to move up from the 106 to the 103, sometimes you got to pay a first to move up 3 spots. So when you're talking about, his ADP is 15 and should be 2 or 3 spots earlier, I want people to know that that's not insignificant. That's actually that's an early second difference in value, which does matter.
Definitely.
I'll do my first love, and I'll admit this is the tamest take. I think my other 3 are a little hot. But when looking at Dynasty Superflex, I was looking through and I wanted a quarterback. I was thinking, what quarterback am I looking at? What quarterback do I want on my roster? And this may be even hotter of a take than I'm thinking. I'm loving Bo Nix right now. Bo Nix, his ADP is 24 right now, end of the second round. You're looking at a guy was QB8 his rookie year. Not only that, but he did that with Courtland Sutton at wide receiver, and then Martin Mims was a rookie. Troy Franklin was a rookie, or Martin Mims was second year, sorry. Troy Franklin was a rookie, didn't really have much of a running game. They added Harvey, like they gave him some weapons. And when you're looking at his stats, it wasn't something that's inflated. Like, he threw over 2 or more touchdowns 10 times. And usually when rookies do that, you see a lot of interceptions. He only had 2 or more interceptions in 4 games, and 2 of them were his first 2 games in the NFL. After that, he only threw 2 or more interceptions twice. Additionally, when you're looking at his finishes, he finished in the top 5 3 times and the top 10 6 times throughout last season. Like, this is a guy that is going at the late second. You could see him going at the 1-2 turn come next year if he repeats this. And it's not – I'm sure people are fading him some because they have Stroud fatigue. Like, C.J. Stroud was going mid-first round after his rookie year, and then he fell back, and now he's going in, third? But the problem is even Stroud didn't finish in the top 10 his rookie year. He was QB 11. Like, he didn't do as well as Bo Nix did. And in Stroud's defense, he had a lot of injuries and such this year. But, like, I think Bo Nix is some great value you're getting at the end of the second right now as a QB2.
I love Nix, and Nix did so much with seemingly so little. He had, like you said, Cortland Sutton. He had Troy Franklin. I love Marvin Mims, but he only really had a couple of big splashes late in the year when other teams had quit. And now, this season, they added Evan Ingram. Awesome.
Yes.
Love Evan Ingram.
Love it.
They still don't have a whole hell of a lot of anything to help Nix, but Nix is still going to feast. He's just a damn good quarterback. I really like Bo Nix.
He runs.
If he had like Sutton, I really wish the Broncos would have taken a receiver in the draft instead of R.J. Harvey, maybe, even though I'm a UCF guy, to help Nix out. Nix is going to play great, and yeah, I really like Nix, and he will, yeah,
He'll be a surprise. He'll win some leagues this year for the value you can get for him.
Yep.
Nix won me money last year. I had Nix on a lot of teams. Said on the previous episode, I'm a whore for quarterbacks. Guess what? I drafted me a whole ton of Bo Nix in the late first, early second in last year's rookie drafts.
Oh, yeah.
On competitive teams because I had the late first, and he just got to step in and be like my third quarterback. And I was able to trade him for a pile or whatever. While you guys were talking, I just pulled it up. Don't sleep that Bo Nix had 430 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns last year. He can move in the pocket. Here's another thing I like about Bo Nix, and that his big first year didn't shock me that much. What do him and Jaden Daniels have in common? They played and started a fuck ton of games in college against good competition. They weren't walking in and just going, "Oh my God, the big stage." No, Bo Nix has been starting D1 college games since like pre-pandemic.
Thank you, Brian.
Dude's not shocked. He wasn't surprised.
Nothing pisses me off more than, this quarterback, he played really good 1 year, 2 years. No. College success is significant.
Yes.
It is very, very, I'm not a quarterback guy. We have a quarterback guy on this page. College success at quarterback is extremely important. Bo Nix had it. Jaden Daniels have it. Yes. When I see a quarterback that's had a lot of years of elite production in college that will transfer to the NFL, I'm all in.
Yeah, a lot of people faded Bo Nix because he was older. He spent more time in college. That people are starting to realize that's a good thing.
It's a very good thing.
You need that because quarterbacks don't have time to sit for a year or two before they can start. Rookies are starting first-round picks. You're starting in the NFL now. You need that success. See, look what happened to Anthony Richardson.
Zero college experience.
Yeah,
he sucks.
Exactly. Like
if he was good, he would have played.
Yeah.
He did not play because he wasn't good. I'm sorry, tangent.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
He's
keep us going. Take us away. What's your first love?
My first love? Oh.
What was her name? Was she brunette? You know.
She was. That's a different story for a different time.
Different episode, yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan Love.
Huh?
Okay.
He is being drafted very, very, very late. His ADP, I had it written down, but they've got Golden, Reed, Kraft. Josh Jacobs will never die. But I love everything in that offense. I think that Love is just being drafted so late in terms of all of the other quarterbacks. He's a tremendous value, and I
can
really
tell you what
like,
his Superflex ADP is here in a second. Let's see.
His ADP is 39, going off as quarterback 12 currently.
There you go.
I really like Romeo Dobbs. A big Dobbs guy. Jaden Reed can't suck that. They have to get back to Jaden Reed. He's a good player, and I have no idea why the Packers completely went away from him. They've got Reed, Dobbs, Golden, Kraft, Jacobs. I think Jordan Love is a tremendous value.
Jaden Reed either shines or they didn't give him any touches.
Yeah.
So I don't understand what is going on there.
Like
that Brazil game, week 1 last year against my Eagles, he fucking torched us. He was like the wide receiver 1 on the week.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, okay, well maybe we just don't give him any touches for 3 weeks. Like I don't understand it.
I don't get it.
The Packers, the team that drafted him, that works with him all day, every day, all week long, doesn't give him touches? Why? Does he really suck and we don't know it?
No, we've seen him not suck. He's had more than like one big play. He shines when they give him the ball.
He's a good player. Put the damn ball in his hands. Right?
I agree. I'm with you on Jordan Love though. 12's good value. He's clearly their future. He's as safe, set in his job as anybody. He's young enough, quarterback-wise, the way that quarterbacks to the age they play with. Love is a clean 10-year, easy, set-and-forget investment. So, yeah. No, I have no devil's advocate with you there.
Pretty good decision at quarterback. Yeah. Usually.
My problem with Love is the wide receiver room. It's not with Love. I think Love is great. It's wide receiver room. Like Reed, I love Reed. I think his peak value was last offseason. Like I had people sending mid-first for him, late first for Jaden Reed. I think he's more a mid to early second type of player for fantasy purposes. But my problem is their wide receiver room. Like I trust Reed, I trust Kraft, and that's it. Like I think Matthew Golden, is going to be the next Christian Watson, who is going to boom one game and then do nothing for 3 games, then boom one. Like my problem with the wide receiver room for the Packers is that it's 90% of it is boomer bust wide receivers, which are either going to completely lose you the week because none of them are going to do well, and then all of a sudden they're going to do great. And I think it's the inconsistency there is where I struggle with properly putting a value on Jordan Love. That's my only gripe with it is even my wide receiver model says stay as far away from Matthew Golden as you can, but I still think that there's enough there for Jordan Love to do what he can to do well.
Bet. Well, not everything is rosy, so we bring up we each bring up a guy that we're not really smelling or feeling. I got 4 together. I guess the first one I'll give is let's see, Brian Thomas Jr. Love him. Overall, he had this smash rookie season that people have him way up on a pedestal. I just brought him up as somebody that I see get taken over Amon-Ra, and this is again not somebody that I think is way overdrafted. It's more about who I can get around him or, at his value or over his value. And also the combination of he did almost none of that damage with Trevor Lawrence last year. It almost all came when it was Mac Jones, who I forget. I wish I could give a certain podcast credit for this. I don't remember, but I remember somebody bringing up that Mac Jones was in the perfect scenario last year to say fuck it and chuck it He's the backup. If he threw a pick, nobody gave a shit. If he threw a bomb touchdown, hell, it helped him get a next contract. So, like, it was the perfect storm. I saw somewhere else the numbers, the target, like the back end or the last 6 or 7 games of the year, he was on pace for like 200 targets or something, just completely obnoxious. Well, it's not Mac Jones, chuck it and fuck it anymore. It's a different offensive coordinator, and they spent the second overall pick on a wide receiver / defensive back who is not going to be ignored. So it's not. I don't want to be anti Brian Thomas Jr. here. Like, I'm not trying to trade him. I'm not trying to kick him off my rosters by any means. But just some, again, Amon-Ra, I'll take over him. Let me see. I did a little digging on who is going around him or above him. He's getting drafted over guys like Caleb Williams, Justin Herbert, Bo Nix, literally in real startups for money that I'm in right now. I'm not doing that. In Superflex leagues, I'm not doing that. I get it. He's a young, spicy, hot wide receiver. Everybody loves it. Everybody thinks they're going to be Julio Jones for 12 years when you have a young stud receiver like that. But I'm not doing it over those quarterbacks. I'm not doing it over Amon-Ra. I just wanted to get him out of the way because I'll probably get arguably the most negative feedback on saying I don't like Brian Thomas, but he won't be on any of my new startup teams because I'm not paying that price for him. That's all.
He had 10-plus targets the last 6 weeks.
It was probably like in the teens some of those weeks. Like, he was getting hyper targeted. Mac Jones said, "Fuck it, here you go, dude."
Yeah. Now, one thing I will point out, I just looked at this real quick. Trevor Lawrence, the first 9 games, was playing with Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr. over those 9 games averaged in PPR you 22.5 points, got under 20 points 3 times. One was 19.4, very close. Never scored you under 10 points. So if anything, he's consistent. I don't know if I'd take him higher than where he's at, but 22.5 point average for your first 9 games in the NFL, that's pretty damn good.
I didn't think it was that high, honestly. I thought it was much more on the back end of the year, but
his back end of the year, he didn't score under 30 in his last 6 games. So he had a massive back end.
I got him with some duds. Let me see. I got him with 5 points against the Bears week 6. I've got 3 points against Minnesota, 6 points against the Eagles in weeks, all before week 9.
Always the critic. Always.
Just bring it up. He had some duds. He wasn't dropping double digits every week, I don't think, unless I'm just pulling up his game log on Sleeper.
I might have an odd bonus scoring or 2 here. I was looking at. I thought it was just
generic. This is just generic PPR that I pulled up.
Yeah, that's what I thought I was looking at too. But it might have a couple more. But
his shitty game. Like, he had 2 receptions for 12 yards one week. But yeah, again, I don't want to be the anti-Brian Thomas guy. I mean, I'm named Brian, for fuck's sake. And he spells his name with an I and not a Y, so I like that about him.
I didn't count the 2 for 9 yards, 2 for 12 yards, because that was week 10 after Lawrence got injured. I was just talking about the first 9 with Lawrence, for reference.
Okay, yeah, that is week 10 with that shitty game. There was
he had some shitty games. That is true.
Yeah, fair. But you did better with Lawrence than I thought.
It was a lost year. The Jaguars completely quit on Doug Peterson. There's a little different mindset with Liam Cohen, I hope. I think Travis Hunter there has to take some coverage off of Thomas. I'm optimistic. It can't be worse. I'll say that.
And again, you're cutting when you're talking that high ADP for Brian Thomas Jr. Like, you're saying Amon-Ra should go higher, others higher. Like, all of a sudden, Brian Thomas Jr. might move back if you really like some of the other ones. Like, it's not to say he's bad. It's where's the value ADP wise is
Yes.
what we're talking about.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tough for me to turn the quarterbacks down. That's probably my biggest thing with him is like where you take him in a startup, I'm not passing Bo Nix or Caleb or Justin Herbert for him. Just not doing it. That's all. That's probably my biggest thing I'm not feeling with him and his ADP.
I get that. I'll bounce a little with that where my first player I'm fading is Travis Hunter. His ADP is 36 right now, and I think that is entirely too high. You're looking at the wide receiver 13 coming off the board, or it might be 15. So you're looking at he's a high-end wide receiver 2, or as Superflex often goes, you draft 2 quarterbacks in the first 2 rounds, Travis Hunter might be the wide receiver 1 on some teams. You're looking at a guy that's splitting offense and defense. And shameless plug, I'm quoting some stuff from my article on Travis Hunter on the Fantasyholics website. Look at that for more details if you want. But I'm gonna throw a few stats about Travis Hunter out. Comparing his routes ran per game in college to the NFL, Travis Hunter ran 39 routes per game. Only 4 NFL wide receivers ran the same or more than 39 routes per game. Jerry Jeudy, Jamar Chase, Michael Woods, DJ Moore.
What?
Yeah.
Michael Woods, is that like the wide receiver 5 on the Browns?
I thought it was Titans, but I don't know. But
wait, we don't even know who it is.
He ran 41.5 offensive snaps per game. So you're looking at 39 routes per game, 41.5 offensive snaps. So only 2.5 he wasn't running routes. But again, only 5 wide receivers had more than 41.5 offensive snaps. Jerry Jeudy again, Jamar Chase, DJ Moore, Michael Woods, Jacoby Myers. So if you're looking at Travis Hunter, not just is the NFL a more intense league, you're looking at he ran top-tier numbers for his offensive snaps in college. So you're going to have to see that. I can't see that continuing. He's not going to run more than Brian Thomas Jr. He's not going to play more offensive snaps than him, not run more routes than him. So you're going to see that drop back. You're going to see his offensive snaps drop back. Now, I think he's going to have a good floor. I think he's going to get targets. He's going to get you 10, 12 points a game. But he's not someone I'm comfortable having as a wide receiver 1 on my team. He's not someone I'm comfortable having as a wide receiver 2. He's someone I want to plug in my flex, let him sit there, and just let him play week to week. But his ADP at 36,
he could
not there.
He could suck.
Yeah.
He could get just completely shut down by, I mean, he's in the AFC, he's playing against Kenny Moore, Derek Stringley, Jalen Petre. He's going up against some amazing cornerback safeties, DB. Hunter might just get completely shut down.
I think Michael Woods was covering him for a game or 2.
Or on the flip side, he could be such a good cornerback, the Jaguars decide he's playing even less offensive snaps. And if you're not in an IDP league, if you're not getting defensive scoring, you're screwed. And a lot of people, I'm seeing so many people saying, take him at the 102 in rookie drafts, take him at the 103 in rookie drafts. I'm not touching him there. I'm not touching him at ADP 36. I'm not touching him earlier than the 105 in rookie drafts. Like, I think his hype is out of hand.
Yeah.
I bought in. I have a decent bit of Hunter, but every point you guys bring up is valid. Like it could end up torching my ass and he sucks or he's a good DB or I've mentioned this personally and a little bit on the show before, but I don't pretend to be a college scout, but a lot of the people I trust and listen to said that he's fucking legit as a wide receiver, that they saw him do shit on the field that other wide receivers can't do, that he just has like physical gifts that other people don't, including not getting tired in the thin Colorado air.
Yeah.
So in a thinner wide receiver class, I definitely invested pretty heavy in Hunter, but I think his hype is out of control. Like it just keeps getting higher and higher. So
Yeah.
He's probably got a pick 6 or 2 from Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Coming soon, unfortunately.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He's my wide receiver 3 of the class. He scored well in my wide receiver model, but he scored well having a high floor, not a high ceiling. And people are drafting him as if he's going to have that Brian Thomas Jr. ceiling or Amon-Ra ceiling. Like, no. He'll score you 10, 12, 14 points a game. Like that. That's my expectation, but not wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 numbers that you really want.
yeah, he's up there.
Puka Nacua is going 15th overall. I think that's way too high.
Okay.
I love the talent. He's a really good player, but he was hurt a lot in college. He doesn't have draft capital. Davante Adams looks completely rejuvenated. Davante Adams played really, really well last year. Davante Adams is like on a mission to get a ring, to get a Super Bowl appearance, a ring. Is Matthew Stafford going to be able to support 2 receivers? I think a ADP of 15 for Puka Nacua is way too high. Oh my goodness. Way too high. 15.
It's up there. What is that, wide receiver?
It's like
5, 6? Probably 6, right behind Amon-Ra, I think, or right in the same area.
Oh my God. No, I just, there's just way too much that I can't, like the player I can't do that. 15. Holy cow.
Yeah. Puka is someone I have a hard time getting behind. Like, I want to love him, but also, like,
yes.
I can't trade for him, but also, like, I look at him and even in, he played, 11 games last season. The problem, like, it's very interesting to see what's going to happen with Davante Adams. Like, going back to last year, Puka Nacua was number 1 in target rate, targeting 43+% of the time. He had a target share 29.9%, which was 4th. He had the most yards per route run in the NFL with 4.07. Like, he had some great stats to him. He was even 12th in yards after the catch, only playing 11 games. But again, he didn't have a high route percentage. He didn't have a high, like, he only ran a route less than 65% of the time. So, like, what's happening? Do the Rams like him? Do they not? Are they preserving him from injury? Is Davante Adams actually the wide receiver 1 there? Like, there's so much unknown about Puka. I have such a hard time paying for him and drafting him at that spot.
I can't do it. Puka Nacua was wide receiver 28 last year.
Overall.
8
points per game, he was way higher.
15th overall. No, can't do it.
So I'm not even a huge Puka guy, but I'll do some generic devil's advocate stuff here.
Do it.
You know that rookie season that Malik Neighbors just had, right? We fucking love Malik Neighbors. Let's fucking buy his jersey and draft him 6 overall in Superflex drafts. Puka had a better rookie season than Malik Neighbors. It wasn't ancient history either. That wasn't 7 years ago. It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Puka had,
6 touchdowns.
He had injuries last year for sure. He was basically unusable until week 10.
Yeah.
Which, that sucks. That's not discounting that or saying that doesn't matter. He was unavailable until week 10. Luckily, he was actually, like, out. You weren't, like, starting him and getting nothing from him, so he was just out of your lineup. But starting week 10, I'm looking at I'll give you his fantasy points from week 10 through the end of the season. So, remember, all-star, all-time rookie season, right? And then when he got healthy again, week 10 till the end, he went for 19, 25, 21, 17, 43, 18, 13, 23.
He's smashed.
Add that to his rookie season. He's a fucking rock star for fantasy. If he's on the field, he's been a fucking baller. I get it. 15 is high. I like dudes around him. Again, Amon-Ra, definitely over him. There's quarterbacks I'll take over Puka, no doubt about it. But I don't want to besmirch because that dude, if he's on the field in a Rams uniform catching passes from Stafford, he's going to fucking dunk on your fantasy team. Like, he's awesome.
Yeah, I think he might be a touch high, but I think it's going to drop and he's going to become a buy low because Devontae Adams is going to take a bunch from him and people are going to fade him, and then all of a sudden Adams will leave and you're going to want Puka shares. It's that we're talking about value here. It's all about when to buy, and I think he's going to have some great value coming in the future.
And yet another guy that we're talking about that's up in the top, 15, 14, 16 picks of a startup draft. So any few spots are a big deal. So I'm with you. As all the fun facts I just gave about him and the fact that I do like him, I completely agree that there's guys I'm taking over him startup wise. I just think there's a reason he's up there. He's been consistent as shit too. There is like almost no dud games that he actually played the full game and gave you a dud. So if he's out there, he's fun to start.
Yeah, agreed. Hopefully Stafford can
play till he's 50.
Yeah, he won't play like an old man. Hopefully Stafford can utilize both Nakua and Adams. It could be a tremendous offense. I know that Sean McVay will get the most out of all of them. It could be awesome. I hope they're healthy and ready to do it. It could be a lot of fun to watch.
Yep.
All right, so that's three of the fades. So back to another love for me, I suppose. Go with my little hometown favorite, AJ Brown. I feel like he has gotten faded for a lot of reasons. He missed some time last year. He is getting older. He's definitely not off that age cliff yet, but he's been fantastic with the Eagles. Again, another guy where, other than that missed time last year, he's been rock solid. AJ Brown has been a thrill to have on your fantasy team. Anytime he's starting, put him in your lineup. So where I'm, as of earlier today when I was doing a little digging, he's showing up as like 34th overall and wide receiver 14 in startups. If you're doing a super young build and just automatically pushing off year one and buying some rookie picks and selling some startup picks, I totally get not drafting AJ Brown. He's, 28. I think he'll be 28, this calendar year.
Yep. I
still see 2 to 3 rock solid seasons with him and Hurts in this lineup and, dominating. Guys that I see him going ahead of him, Marv, Ladd, Nico, JSN, all almost always go ahead of him. And sure, if you're doing a young build, you want to pass on him, I get that. I only looked up wide receivers that are going ahead of him. There's plenty of other positional players going ahead of him that I'd much rather have AJB on if you're doing at least a semi or full competitive build, or just you're on a competitive team and making trades. AJ Brown is just a horse, man. He's got the relationship with Jalen Hurts. He's in a great environment with my Philadelphia Eagles. There's it's the killer offensive line, the threat of Barkley. They can't drop too many back because Saquon will just kill you on the run with that offensive line. I love him in that area, and I mean I don't see really much argument against him other than the fact that, like, all right, I don't want to draft a receiver of that age at wide receiver 14 or 34th overall, but you're getting a freaking proven racehorse stud. He can break tackles. He's fast as hell. He's got great hands. He's just another dude, kind of like what I was saying with Puka, man. If he's on the field, start him. He's not giving you dud games.
Yeah, he's someone people are definitely fading because, again, the start of the season where people want to start strong, you couldn't start him. Like, he was injured. He was out. Like, there was that rumors of him and Hurts hated each other. Like, people were really fading him and still are. Like, as much as we like to say we're a dynasty community, so many people have thoughts based upon what's happening now and change values instantly because of that. And I think A.J. Brown is someone that's happening to. And still, like, his value's down because people are still worried about him. Like, oh, he was injured. He's getting old. He's 27. Yeah, he's got 2-3 good years left at least. Like, you got Devontae Adams going into his 30. Mike Evans. Like, who's to say A.J. Brown can't still do that?
I think Adams and Evans are both 32 this year, or turning 32 this year. Neither of them look bad. So you're telling me you can get 4 or 5 more peak years out of A.J. Brown? I can get him as wide receiver 14.
Huge.
That's probably my biggest heart of my little list here. Love getting him with the stack. You can do a startup where you get Jalen Hurts 5-6, and then you can pull A.J. Brown in the 3rd round for your stack.
Oh, yeah.
I've done it multiple times. All day.
Love it. Sweet. I'll move on to my second love, and this is going to be a very controversial one that I am ready to fight for. Breece Hall at ADP 35.
Ooh.
I'm going to bring up a couple interesting stats
all right,
of Breece Hall that I think are going in his favor.
No.
Last year, the Jets were 32nd in run attempts. Anytime they got behind, anytime they needed goal line attempts, it was Aaron Rodgers. They were putting all their eggs in the Aaron Rodgers basket. That's not going to be the case this year. We're looking at yards created, so yards after someone evades the first tackle. Breece Hall was 10th, amassing over 1,000 yards. So he was 32nd in run attempts. Their team was 32nd, but he still was top 10, creating 1,000 yards after making someone miss. He was 29th in red zone touches. So again, with Aaron Rodgers being gone, when you have Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, you're going to pass in the red zone. Now Breece Hall is going to get some more chances. Not to even mention the Jets took an offensive lineman with a top 10 pick. Then my final point. I want to look at everyone for the sake of this. Rushing quarterbacks are good for running backs. They aren't bad. Again, I'll say it for those in the back. Rushing quarterbacks are good for running backs. What we see is, for the sake of argument, when you have Justin Fields there, you're playing a shovel option. When you have Justin Fields running, that can cause a linebacker to freeze and then pass it to Breece Hall, who's great at making someone miss and then getting more yards. That's better than Aaron Rodgers, who can't move, that linebacker who is frozen by Justin Fields can just follow Breece Hall. A lot of people are worried that rushing quarterbacks take away yards from the running backs, but in reality, they create more opportunities for running backs to do amazing things. I know this is a very hot take. People are fading Breece Hall. I know some people saying if someone will offer you a first for Breece Hall, take that right now. I think he's going to surprise people this year. I think Justin Fields has a great check down rate. Breece Hall's receptions are going to stay high, but I think his rushing numbers are going to go up.
Pat, by all means, you get it first. I was kind of going to give some pro Breece Hall stuff, so go ahead. Tell us why you don't want to.
I like your stats and your facts and your very well thought out. It's a lot better than me than just like, Breece Hall, he sucks.
I don't like his face.
He only
motherfucker.
I don't like Breece Hall. He only had over 80 yards rushing twice last year. He kind of struggled off the knee injury. he missed a game randomly after a bye week. Uh, the Jets suck. The Jets, they drafted Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis for a reason. The team that works with Breece Hall day in, day out still drafted 2 more running backs. And they signed Justin Fields. Like, I'm probably reading into it too much. I kind of think the Jets know that Breece Hall might not be that guy. And they're bringing in other players to run the ball. I could be completely wrong. I'm usually completely wrong. But the things that the Jets are doing don't really lead me to believe they like or love Breece Hall.
I'll let you go in a second, Brian. I want to put one quick thing. When you're saying drafting Braylon Allen, like drafting the backup running backs, Seattle with Charbonnet in the second round. We look at there's another team off the top of my head.
One of my
Bills to we see second and third rounds. We see Cardinals with
Trey Benson. Yep.
Yep, Trey Benson to we see a lot of these teams drafting more, investing a lot in an injury backup than replacements for some of these in the second or third round. So that's not to say that's not going to happen. We've heard some, but there's a chance they're just drafting as injury potential backups for Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with Breece, I know he's never cracked 1,000. What was the other stat that you said about he's never done 80-yard, I forget exactly what it was, but something you brought up that, was a knock against his rushing.
He only rushed over 80 yards twice last season.
There it was. Perfect. So with that, I'll say I'd counter with they haven't asked him to run the ball a ton. Like, he's been targeted so heavily. Like, his one big healthy season, he had his rookie year that got cut off with the horrible injury real quick. He had the full second year, which was, where he was like second overall for the year. And then last year was messy and some injuries and stuff too. But the second year, he had 223 carries. He missed 1,000 yards by that much. It was
so close.
94. And he averaged 4.46 a clip. He also had 78 receptions and 590 yards. So probably the biggest thing with
Zach Wilson checkdowns. They were. I don't know if they were really.
I guess what I'm getting at about that is not that he's going to get that many targets or receptions again, but what I would bring up with Breece Hall is I watch a lot of football and I've watched Breece Hall play. I've never looked at him and thought that guy's slow or he sucks. He's good. He's explosive. I've watched him make big plays and gash plays, and I think he's been a victim of injury and being on a shitty Jets team. But I think he's still young enough. He's far enough past the horrific, shitty injuries that I'm not saying I'm like a Breece Hall guy. I'm not buying his jersey. I'm not drafting him way over his ADP. But I'm more lean on the side of I like him. I see him a little bit as a value on his ADP, but I don't disagree of everything you brought up. He's the shitty Jets team, and it's tough to really buy into a lot on that squad other than Garrett Wilson should get 1 million targets. But I kind of like Breece Hall at his ADP. The eye test thing with me. That's what I'm saying. I've never once looked at Breece Hall and been like, man, this guy, what's he doing out there? He looks like he looks a little slow, or he looks like he doesn't know how to play football. He passes the eye test for me.
He doesn't know which way to run.
Yeah, he's running backwards like that D lineman from the Vikings.
Safety, you dumbass.
Right. So I guess that's your next love, Pat?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
My next love?
Yeah.
Zach Charbonnet. Because Kenneth Walker, I really, really like Kenneth Walker, but the dude just, he cannot make it through a total game without getting hurt. Kenneth Walker's best season is like running back 16, and every game, every opportunity that Charbonnet has had to be the lead back, he's feasted. And it's a great offense. I think skill-wise, Charbonnet might be better than Kenneth Walker. Hot take.
Yeah, Walker.
People loved him in college.
Walker does seem to be injured a lot.
Charbonnet was a second-round pick. And if, like, the team that just took Kenneth Walker spends a second on Zach Charbonnet, that's a pretty damning indictment. Like, that quickly to draft a replacement to take Charbonnet. I really like Charbonnet if Walker is to miss extended time, which he probably will because he has historically.
He's I just pulled up keep trade cut values. Charbonnet's RB26 on there right now, and then as far as like dynasty startup value, Charbonnet is the overall 119th off the board, and RB26.
Charbonnet was running back 25 last year. That's
limited work. Yeah,
his ADP on Sleepers 119. If you're getting
119
back 25, that's a smash.
Yeah,
that's a smash. Walker will miss games this year. Kenneth Walker will miss games, and Charbonnet
scouting guys loved him.
Yes.
There was just so much. Everybody just their hearts just sunk to their nutsack when the Seahawks picked him. It was like there was so many better spots, so many places for him to get more opportunity. But you're saying, he's behind a guy that gets hurt, and so
the Cowboys. Charbonnet would have been. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know the Cowboys needed a running back. If Charbonnet went to Dallas, he'd be like RB1. He would be a beast in Dallas if he had that whole backfield to himself.
If I'm doing a startup build where I'm drafting more quarterbacks and receivers and not pushing in for year one, Charbonnet is the big, huge target for me at running back. Like I want him on those type of teams because there is a scenario where by week 5 this year, or at worst week 1 next year, he is the bell cow rock star 25-year-old running back for the Seahawks. So great call. We've all been kind of hovering up near the top of ADP for our loves and hates. So that's a good one to bring up, man. If anybody doesn't like Charbonnet at his current price or ADP, you're not paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, you got new coaching staff there, so that didn't draft Walker, so there's a chance that they didn't draft Charbonnet either, but there's a chance it's more open, it's more even playing field. Like I would even say, like with how ADP is, get both. Like that way you have a running back 2 floor every single week, whether Walker's injured or not. Like get both. Like that's one of the backfields. If I got one, I'm doing my best to get the other. Like
let's lock it up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, back to the dark side, I guess then, right?
Yeah, back to the dark side.
All right. Well,
bring
up the one that everybody knew I was going to bring up as soon as we talked about this. It's fucking Brock Bowers, man. It's tight ends, and I know Brock Bowers just had such a massive season, right? So that's probably the biggest pushback. He's young. He shined. He had an early breakout age in college, kicked ass at Georgia. He stepped in and had this remarkable rookie season, which he did. But here's my couple of things against him. One, it's his fucking ADP. Even if it's not like a heavy tight end premium league, he's going in the first round. He's like 9th overall selection in Superflex startup drafts. Let me pull up my little yellow legal sheet notes on him here. Brock Bowers. We've got him going over guys like Malik Neighbors, CeeDee Lamb.
No.
Oh my God, Amon-Ra. Not a lot of the time, but I have watched drafts where he goes 3rd or 4th overall in a startup ahead of Jalen Hurts, ahead of Joe Burrow. Let's just stop, okay? He's, again, great rookie year. I get it. We all love the recency. What did they do? They brought in a rookie second-round receiver, brought in a different coaching regime. Pete Carroll loves running the ball. What else did they do in the draft? They drafted this guy, Ginty, I think it's pronounced. They're going to run the fucking ball more than they did last year. Who was the running back last year? Zamir White, I think, or I don't even remember who got the most carries. But Sincere McCormick, Sincere McCormick, I think Ginty might be a step up above, him. Jacoby Myers is still there, who's a very capable, good pass catching receiver. I think Brock Bowers has tons of value in Dynasty. I think if it's a heavy tight end premium league, he is worth taking somewhat high, not over fucking Jalen Hurts or Malik Neighbors, but high. But I'm a huge proponent of the warp feature from South Harmon. There's lots of different pages that offer wins over replacement player, but if you look at just about any league, unless it's like 3 points per tight end catch, tight end is way down the importance chart. And I just can't ever invest that much in tight ends. And, if I die on this hill and Brock Bowers just becomes Travis Kelce 2.0 and even better, so be it. I will just still have rather taken Neighbors and Jalen Hurts and CeeDee Lamb in these leagues. Yep. And you can have your Brock Bowers and enjoy your positional advantage every week. I just can't do it, man.
I completely agree. I think I would never draft a tight end in the first round or probably the second round of a startup unless, again, it's massive tight end premium. Like I have a league where tight ends get 3 points per reception. Like, that's where I'm starting to take it, assuming other scoring bonuses don't increase it as well. But other than that, tight end, like I'm okay waiting till the later rounds, getting myself a Kittle, a Kelce, and then getting a young rookie that will develop and hopefully get in there. Like I'm fine doing that to get, again, that Neighbors, Amon-Ra, like give me some of those guys instead.
Unless it's a world in which elite Jimmy Graham and Travis Kelce exist, tight end is nice, but it's like Boardwalk and Park Place. You don't have to splurge on them, and it's a splurge, but it's not the best way to win your league.
Tight end has gotten, deep is a weird way to put it, but tight end has gotten deeper in recent years. And I look at it like this. You can have your top guys, your Kittle, Bowers, McBride, just for the 3 last year that really stood out above the rest of the group, right? And then you have tight end for, the next guy, Hawkinson, however you want to look at it. They might get you 9 points a week, 10 points a week. Hopefully, maybe they catch a touchdown and you got 14. But you can go all the way down to tight end 18, 19. And those guys are just as likely to get you 7, 8, 9, 10 points. So I'm a huge proponent of just punting the shit out of that position. Yep. I have so many fucking teams, best ball teams especially. Oh my God, if it's a best ball league, I will take my tight ends in the 20s. I will have a roster where my tight end room is Hunter Henry, Chigakonkwo, and Zach Ertz. And one of those motherfuckers get me 10 or 11 or 15 even. And the guy that wasted top picks on Brock Bowers is like, damn, I could have just drafted Chigakonkwo and Hunter Henry.
Chig.
Dude. Chig. And Chig has a solid rookie quarterback coming in with some promise.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley's his only target competition. I could have put Chigakonkwo on my little love list, but we'll save that for a deep dive episode. But yeah, man, fuck tight end. If it's a lineup league, I will reach. Reach is the wrong way to put it, but in a lineup league, I'll at least get myself like a Tucker Kraft, or I might even spend up a little bit on like a Hawkinson or something like that. But first, second round, third round, no fucking thanks.
Yeah. And I'm going to jump on that because my next fade is Sam Laporta. Like, he's being drafted at ADP 40. And here, again, I'm a stats guy. I love looking at that. That to me kind of cuts through to the center of a player where you can kind of tell more about the potential success of a player or if they're on a downtrodden, just a little about it. And here's some interesting stats for Laporta. He was 7th in air yard share last year, 3rd in deep targets, 5th in red zone targets. He was 6th in receiving yards, 6th in yards after catch, and 4th in touchdowns among tight ends. And he was still tight end 8. Laporta was closer to being tight end 18 than tight end 4. Nevertheless, he has a new offensive coordinator. Like, if you look at the Lions last year, you had 4 players you could start consistently each week. You could start, obviously, Goff. You could start Montgomery when he was healthy. You could start Gibbs, Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, Laporta only really succeeded when Jamison Williams was injured or out or not doing as well. Like, now you throw in a new offensive coordinator. I see Laporta just dropping in value this year. Yeah, he had an amazing rookie year, but are you really spending...
It was all touchdowns.
Yeah. Are you spending a 4th-round pick on that? Like, I couldn't do it.
I'm pulling up his game log right now, too, because, last year, coming off the big rookie year, he had, he was hyped up, and people were like, oh, my God, you got to get him. Overall #1 tight end for Dynasty. Well, I think he might have been tight end 2 in redraft after that huge rookie year. Let's see. The start of his season last year, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what the TEP, the tight end premium in the league I'm looking at, but he had 11, 4, 7, 12, 12, 4 to start the year.
Yeah.
You could match that production with waiver wires. Zach Ertz probably had a better season than him. Jonnu Smith was demolishing him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and, again, not a position I want to pay a premium on.
Nope.
Not another one. I mean, shit, for my Bowers case, just look at Sam Laporta the year before.
Yeah.
He could take a decent step backwards, I don't know. I can't. Tight end, man, it's a weird-ass position.
Look,
I know a couple leagues that have literally eliminated it, where there's not a starting tight end position, where you could flex them. Like, if you want to use one in your flex, you can. But I've seen and play in a couple leagues that, the starting a tight end position doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah, same here.
Laporta had over 70 yards once last season.
He even his big rookie year, he wasn't a yardage guy.
Like
it was all
touchdowns or something.
Yeah, that's not a pick you can make in the first 3 rounds.
Would you say he was that? Because he's still 40th overall in startup?
Yeah, ADP 40.
Get the fuck out of here.
No,
Jesus Christ.
I can't touch him. I can't touch him with that.
MC Hammer, that shit. Can't touch this.
No. Yep. Okay, keep us rolling. Next fade.
Next fade. All right. I love the player, but Nico Collins just does not. Nico Collins has missed a lot of games. He's missed a lot more than I thought. I don't think he's played a full season. The Texans added Jaden Higgins
and Jalen Noel.
Jalen Noel. There's a lot of competition for targets.
Christian Kirk, too.
Yeah.
Christian Kirk. And the Texans have the worst offensive line in all of football. Stroud does not have a lot of time to throw. I love the talent of Nico Collins, but the situation at that his ADP is
It's up there. It's 15, 16.
Yeah, it's up there.
it's up there. He's just being drafted way too early, given the situation. I just no.
Yeah.
They drafted two more receivers for a reason. They signed.
Well, you know what you want to do?
The O-line.
When you have a really shitty offensive line, you want to trade Laramie Tunsil. You want to trade the only good part of your line, your left tackle. You want to get rid of that guy and just have an open path to your quarterback.
Exactly.
I like your strategy there.
Hey, listen.
That's a bad idea.
Just go all the way shitty, you know. Nico's going up there high, man.
Yeah, I was high on him to start the off season, but looking at it more and more, like he hasn't played a full season. 2 years ago, he was 9th in half PPR, but 12th in PPR. So when you're talking about PPR leagues, like fade him even more. I think people are going for the ceiling of him if he plays at this consistent level. I see his big games, but like again, Jaden Higgins is my wide receiver for this class. I think he's going to break out so well in that Houston offense that I even think that might put a ceiling on Nico Collins too. That from a value perspective, I think this is his ceiling. And when you're talking ADP, you don't want to draft someone at their ceiling.
Nope.
Unless it's an old vet who is going to get you that championship. Like, but in the first 3 rounds, you're not even first 2. You're not going for. I'm taking this guy because he's at his ceiling for value. You want to get someone who can rise.
Yeah, Nico's 4 years in and never played a full season.
Thinking like, this is my wide receiver 1. This is like my stud. No, it won't be your stud. He might be. I mean, he might be a flex.
Yeah,
Nico Collins might be a flex start some weeks. Hot take.
Shout out to the Fat Boys who had this take a week ago as well, talking a little bit more. So check out the other podcast on the Fantasy Holics channel, the Fat Boys. They talked more in depth about this too.
Nico was also
bonus
hype with the Stroud breakout.
Yeah,
like it was like, oh man, he's got this young stud quarterback. Stroud was anointed a top 2 or 3 dynasty overall pick after that solid rookie year. Yeah, so Nico kind of benefited from all that, and he did last year. He came out on fucking fire, man. Like I had him on my one and only redraft league. He was cooking. I wish I could have traded him for something before he got, he ended up missing 3 or 4 games and came back and he wasn't as good as the beginning, but he came out on fire. And then it was all still like all the hype going back to, oh man, look, CJ Stroud, he's going to gas this guy up, and Nico's, top receiver, one of the top receivers in football. Yeah, he's a fade for me at that ADP too. He's right there with like Amon-Ra and BTJ.
Believer, that O-line is just awful.
Yep.
Awful.
So where are we at on the next fade or love? I've lost track a little bit.
Yeah,
are we back to loves?
We're on to love, and I'll take this one. I want to talk about someone who's injury prone too, but I am loving the ADP for in a similar vein. That's going 2 rounds behind Nico Collins, scoring similar points, similar injuries, better situation. At ADP 44, my third love is T. Higgins. And I know some people are fading him. I know people are he's injured. He missed 5 games the last 2 seasons. Here's a couple of interesting things for you. In 12 games last season, he had more top 5 finishes than Ladd McConkey, Drake London, Nico Collins, and CeeDee Lamb. And he had more top 10 finishes than Puka Nacua and JSN. You're looking at a guy who averaged 18.5 points per game in 12 games. If you make that over the entire season, that puts him at wide receiver 4 on the season. Or if you look at projections this next year, that puts him at wide receiver 2. In 12 games, he was 5th in red zone targets and 5th in touchdowns. Now, I know touchdowns isn't a stat you don't want to rely on, but in 12 games, having the 5th most touchdowns and 5th most red zone targets, that's consistency. This is a guy that, yeah, he missed 5 games, but he averaged 18 points and was available in the playoffs the last 2 seasons. If you can tell me I can start a guy and he's going to average me, actually, I think in the playoffs he averaged over 20 points. If you're going to tell me, okay, you're not going to have him week 6 to 10 in the playoffs, but this guy is going to average you 20 points, sign me up. Like, him going in the late 4th round of startups, like, give me him as my wide receiver 2. In some where I'm getting strong running backs and quarterbacks, give him as my wide receiver 1. Like, we're talking about winning here, and he's someone that has been available when you need him in the playoffs and is putting up so many points in that high-flying Bengals offense.
I just pulled up the game log from last year, if you want to talk about T. Higgins. He was fucking nuclear. I traded for him for the playoff run in a couple leagues, and I won all those leagues. So let's check it out. Week 14, he didn't really do anything. So if you start week 14 in the playoffs, you shouldn't, though. Playoffs should be week 15, 16, 17, right? So starting week 15, he got you 20 on the dot. Week 16, 19.9, so almost exact production from, the week before. Great. You'll take 20 from one of your receiver spots every week. If you made it to the championship, he got you a 40. He dropped you a 40 burger in week 17 for your fantasy championship.
Yeah.
He's been awesome. He's another guy similar to we talked about with Puka and AJB. If he's playing and he's starting, put him in your lineup and enjoy the results. The only thing with T is I feel like he's got a little bit of that Jalen Waddle syndrome in him where, like, there's a lot of games where he's healthy and starts and then comes out after like 2 or 3 plays where he just kills you because you started a 0. But most of the time, this dude is locked into your lineup. He's a safe set it and forget it. You know if he's healthy most of the time going into the week, so you're not worried about getting that 0. T. Higgins is fucking awesome. And Joe Burrow has come out and said that's his best friend. They got drafted into the league together. They love each other. He like fought to make sure they got him that big contract. He just got the big contract. He's got Jamar fucking Chase on the other side. He'll never get double covered.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. T. Higgins is a great value. I love what you said about if you went a little quarterback heavy. You went a little quarterback heavy. Maybe that's your wide receiver 1. That's fine.
Yeah.
Does 40 points sound good in your championship week? I think it does.
I mean, a lot of people fade him because he's the wide receiver 2 on the Bengals, but that doesn't mean anything if he's getting you points. Like,
points are points.
I'm not taking the wide receiver 1 on the Patriots over anywhere near Higgins. Like, who cares where he's in the lineup in the depth chart if he's getting you points? Like, I don't care.
Bet.
The other defenders are worrying about Jamar Chase. T. Higgins has played 5 seasons and has had over 100 targets in 4 of the 5 seasons. Higgins gets hyper-targeted. He gets peppered because another thing, the Bengals defense sucks, and the AFC North has a lot of high-scoring games. It's like a, cold, gritty in the trenches defense, but also the Bengals score a lot of. They have to score a lot of points.
They have no choice.
And T. Higgins is the beneficiary of the garbage time. T. Higgins.
I just saw a highlight where Joe Burrow and T. Higgins put their beds on top of each other as bunk beds, so they have more room for activities. To practicing routes in their bedroom.
Did we just become best friends?
They did. They did like 5 years ago when they came into the league.
I love
We
it.
did.
Johnny Taylor, I guess, would be the next love that I would bring up. Love me some Johnny Taylor. Dude, it's fucking he's awesome. He's always been rock solid. He's had 2 injury-riddled seasons after having a great rookie season and then a running back 1 overall season. He missed, I think he only played like 10 or 11 games year 3 and year 4. He has never been a problem with yards per carry or getting in the end zone. Even those 2 seasons where they were a little bit injury-riddled, he still had a great touchdown percentage. Where he's going in startup drafts, let's see, who do I dislike that's going over him? Let's see. Johnny Taylor is getting drafted behind Amarian Hampton, who we haven't seen shit from, Bucky Irving, who had 1 big flash season but has shit draft capital, Breece Hall. We just had plenty of discussion on Breece Hall, but I think I want Johnny Taylor as like my anchor RB over Breece Hall. And those are just, running backs he's getting drafted over. I've always been a fan of his. Like I was saying about Hall, he just passes the eye test. He exploded for the playoffs last year. He had that, that one shitty infamous play where he dropped the ball before he went over the goal line, but that was still like a 15-point week for him. And then he kind of like, to make it up to all the fantasy gods, went fucking rocket ship nuclear and won people titles at the back end.
Yeah.
I don't think Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones are going to start airing the fucking ball out. It's going to be a running offense.
Yep.
I don't know. I've always been a big fan of Johnny Taylor. I will have him on a big percentage of my leagues. He's 26. He's not falling off the cliff age-wise for running backs. Because he missed some time in year 3 and 4, he doesn't have some crazy-ass workload on him yet comparative to, some running backs that have just been driven into the ground, every year of their career to start. I'm a big fan of Johnny T. I love him at that price. I love taking him as my anchor RB. The hero RB thing, whether it's dynasty or redraft, I love having that dude RB1 set and forget. If you guys have any negatives on him, I'd love to hear him, but I just love him. He's built. He's fucking rocked up. He's huge, tall, thick. He can take a fucking ass kicking and keep staying in there.
I like Taylor as the Colts fan of the Fantasy Holics. He ran a lot at Wisconsin. He's like, Taylor is about done. He's got a year or 2 left. I think he ran the ball 300 times
over
3 years at Wisconsin.
He had a ton of college work. Yep.
A ton of miles from Wisconsin. I think Daniel Jones will help him a lot. You don't pay Daniel Jones $14 million to be a backup. I like Taylor this year for like a Josh Jacobs resurgence, but it will be short-lived. I would be fine with Taylor this year. If I have Taylor in a dynasty, I'm selling him within the first 4 to 6 weeks.
He's a tough one.
I think Taylor will smash, but it won't be a long-lived RB1 role.
Yeah, he's a tough one. I mean, when you're looking at attempts, he's got a lot of mileage. Like, in 14 games, he had the 5th most attempts. If you average that out, put it to 17 games, he has the number one attempts in rushing attempts last year. Like that's the one thing that's tough. Like, granted, we've seen Barkley and Henry, who have a ton of attempts, do great this year. We're seeing great leaps forward in rejuvenation of the body and keeping it going for these NFL players. That's Taylor has a little bit of an injury history, so that's up in the air. But like when he's healthy, he's a top 10 running back scoring. Like even in 14 games, he had 1,400 rushing yards last year. Like his RB1 season, he had 1,800, which he was close to be on the mark for last year in 17 games. He was just a little shy on the receiving work last year as opposed to his RB1 year. But like it's tough to say if he's healthy and with how we're seeing these older running backs still compete. It's hard to see that there isn't value there.
I'd touch back on what I brought up in the first episode about how I look at running backs other than maybe Bijan, Genty, Gibbs as 1 year rentals. Yeah. Taylor's the RB9 in where you have to draft him right now. I'll fucking take that. Unless I'm punting, I'm not a contending team. If I'm a youthful, non-contending team, I don't want Johnny Taylor. If I have any shot at the playoffs or I want to make a little noise in the playoffs, I will take him at that RB9 price tag over the guys around him. I've just seen him do it over and over again, unless he's hurt. Yeah, I'm not expecting to get 5 more years out of him or 3 even, but back to my strategy, man. I look at him in not even a year window. I look at him in what can I do with them right now? Am I competing? If I'm competing or trying to compete, give me John Taylor, 100%.
Yep.
And we don't know his receiving work. I mean, they had Naheem Hines for a little bit. There isn't a pass-catching running back in the Colts offense. It could be like Taylor could be the sneakiest pass-catching running back.
He can catch passes. I've seen him do it once or twice.
The draft this year. Because Khalil Herbert sucks. We have no idea what DJ Gibbons will bring.
Yeah.
Taylor could end up with 40, 50, 60 targets, catches. It could be a smash PPR play there.
He's had 36, 40, and 28 catches over certain seasons of his career. Up.
It's like we don't know he's not good, but he could be I don't know if he could be Alvin Kamara, but he could be a 40 to 50 catch guy, and we just don't know it because they didn't need to use him that way.
It's true.
Yep.
Because Daniel Jones probably sucks. I know Anthony Richardson sucks. It could be like a 7-yard check down pass to Jonathan Taylor that's 1.7 points every week.
True.
Michael Pittman is just going way too low. Michael Pittman, his ADP is 132 on Sleeper. Michael Pittman is getting a quarterback upgrade in Daniel Jones. Bookmark that. It is a QB upgrade. Michael Pittman's targets in the last 4 years, 129 targets, 141 targets, 156 targets. He's going 132 overall. Michael Pittman is like a wide receiver 1 that you're getting who knows how late. Pittman's a tremendous player, and I cannot believe he's going as late as he is. I've taken him in every single Fantasy Holics mock draft, startup. It feels like a free wide receiver 1.
Yeah, he's a tough one for me. I love Pittman and Downs as long as Richardson is not the quarterback. Like, if Daniel Jones is there, like
Yes.
we've seen Pittman have top 20 seasons as long as there's someone that can get the ball in his general direction, which Richardson can't. Like, I think Josh Downs is going to take some work from him, but at his value, Pittman's going to go up. Pittman's going to go up. Yeah, I like that.
He's free. I don't even know what his exact ADP is at this point, but he doesn't cost you shit.
He's free.
Yeah.
You can buy him for peanuts from just about anybody in the league.
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to buy him from Pat, and then we're not. You're probably not getting him, I guess.
Yeah. True.
Nope.
That's a good love, man. Like I said, I kind of wish I would have dove a little deeper on my loves and dislikes. I was kind of just staying at the top of the ADP, but
yeah,
maybe we can do this again, more focused on like deep dive guys that we like more. I
stayed in the top 4 rounds, so yeah,
Same.
Another deep dive soon enough is going to be very good.
Final fade for me, based on ADP. Again, I don't hate the kid or wish any ill will towards him, or if anybody likes him, good on you. You can take him in all these drafts with me, but it's Amari and Hampton, rookie running back for the Chargers. He's going as the RB5 in startups and the 26th overall player. Yeah. He's a lot of potential. He had the huge combine, put up some rocking combine numbers, got drafted in the first round as a running back. That usually hits, but it was later in the first round. And if you look into later first round running backs, you can find some guys like Rashad Penny and dudes that didn't really play out. So he could certainly be good. He's on the, he's with Harbaugh, who likes to run the ball, high testosterone offense there. So, I mean, I get it. We all are hungry for, the new next it running back. So I get why he's going up that high, but at RB5 and 26 overall, he's literally going over like Drake May and CJ Stroud and Jackson Smith and Jigba and AJ Brown. And I've seen him go over like Brock Purdy and Baker Mayfield and like Bo Nix and even guys in that range where, one, I don't even really want to build my dynasty startups around running backs, even if they're young. And if I'm going to spend up that high, go up another round and get Gibbs or something if you really are that dead set on having like a young running back. We don't know if this kid's good or not. He played at North Carolina. He wasn't playing against juggernaut defenses in college. I think a huge part of this was his combine stats and the fact that he went in the first round.
Yeah.
I've heard more than
what
one or
if
two.
He's Javonte Williams? God forbid.
Hey, they went to the same school. Maybe he's Javonte Williams. Do you want to take Javonte Williams at 26 overall in a startup draft?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
I like Hampton at his rookie pick value, but this high ADP.
Easy, lazy comparison.
Yeah, for Hampton, his rookie pick value I love, but ADP, like I'm taking JSN, I'm taking Stroud, I'm taking AJ Brown, like I'm taking these other guys probably above him. So like, it's a little too high for an ADP for sure.
I definitely have some shares of him in rookie drafts where I had a higher first round pick, but I will have 0.0 shares of Hampton in startup leagues because no fucking way. Hey, over Drake May, nope. Over AJ Brown, nope. So many players I'll take over him. Like I said, it's even the way I like to construct my rosters from a startup. If I'm gonna try to push in and win, I'm not taking a rookie unproven running back that high. If I'm trying to do the long play and build for the future, I'm not taking a rookie running back that high. So it's like I have zero way that I'm taking Hampton at that price in the startup. So that's a big fade for me in startup value.
The NFL stands for not for long, and in a dynasty, it's hard to take a running back over like a JSN or.
I'll go to my next fade. I'm going to stick with the running back train, and I'm going to go to Devon A-Chain. I have a couple problems, and it's not to say he's a bad running back, but rather I think it's how the Dolphins are going to approach their offense this year. With Tua's concussion injury, I think the Dolphins played incredibly safe offensively this last year. When you look at what Tua did, he was 35th in deep ball attempts. He was 40th in air yards per attempt. Yet they were 9th in team pass plays. What we're seeing is he was getting the ball out quick, and they were designing for him to get the ball out quick. That's why we saw Tyreek Hill have a horrible year. Jalen Waddle had a horrible year. You had these fast receivers, but they're not having time, and they're not calling plays. They're not scheming for these fast receivers to get by the defense or through the defense. They're scheming to protect Tua, and I don't think the Dolphins can continue to play that safely and succeed. And in that way, I think A-Chain, who had a lot of checkdowns, who had great rushing, benefited from them playing safe and play calling for Tua. And I think Waddle's going to go up, Hill is going to go up, and I think that's going to take away from A-Chain. I mean, even if you look at time to throw this last year, Tua was the fastest. 2.42 seconds to throw. Now, I know Tyreek Hill, I know Jalen Waddle are fast. They're not that fast to get 40 yards down the field and beat the defense in 2.4 seconds. So I think the Dolphins are going to open up the playbook, get Waddle and Hill more involved, and I think that's going to take away from A-Chain, whose ADP is 30 right now. He's being taken in a third round of startups. I think this is his ceiling, and drop it back to a late fourth, early fifth. Like, sure, I'm taking him then, but I think his ADP is a little too high right now.
78 catches last year.
Yeah, a ton.
You don't get that from running backs much, but it was like you said, it was tons of safety, get the ball out quick. Let's make sure Tua doesn't have another seizure on the field type of catches.
Exactly. Yep.
He was pretty.
A-Chain he's a small guy. He doesn't have the body type to be able to have this workload. And the Dolphins, Mike McDaniel's we can't give this guy that many touches. We have to. You have Tua, Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Jonnu Smith emerged. They've built the team to throw. You can't not throw to Hill. You can't not throw in that offense. And A-Chain only has so many, there's only so much work for him. It's not going to be a run the ball 20, 22, 25 times. And I agree, that's too high of a ADP to take a player with that many limited touches.
He's explosive. He did that more explosive shit his rookie year. He had one of the most efficient rookie years ever. He averaged. Hold on, let me check. I got his
Broncos game.
He had
70 to 20 Broncos game.
7.7 yards a carry on 103 carries.
I need to.
Yeah, it's fucking wild, and he's
the
good.
Broncos
Last year
just flat out quit.
Yeah,
and they just watch A-Chain run. There he goes again. I'm not.
So last year he had 203 carries for 907 yards and 6 touchdowns. Almost 4.5 a clip. Efficient, solid, and then he had the 78 catches for almost 600 and 6 more touchdowns catching. So I think that the receptions should slide back.
Yeah.
Based, like you said, Mike McDaniel. Is it pluralized? I forget. Is it McDaniel or McDaniels? I think it's McDaniel. With his gray sweatpants on the sidelines. He's just. I feel like he came in and did so well year one that he's just been riding that coolness. he came from the McVay tree, if I'm not mistaken. So he thinks he's as cool as McVay, but he really isn't. Yeah, they should throw the ball more. I don't like Achane at his price. He was honestly next on my list of fades. Like he was the fifth guy if I didn't write another person down, or if I wrote another person down. So same thing where like I don't dislike him. I'm not like necessarily trying to move him, but where he goes in startups, no fucking way. I'm not taking him in that range above quarterbacks and superflex and good receivers and more sturdy running backs like Jonathan Taylor or, guys that are built to carry the load that I can call my anchor RB. So yeah, man, I'm with you on HN.
Yeah, I mean, do you think the Dolphins can succeed with Jonnu Smith getting more receptions than Tyreek Hill and HN getting more receptions than Waddle? Like that
yeah. Well, if you have Hill and Waddle, why the fuck would you target them when you can target Jonnu Smith and a fucking 174-pound running back?
Yeah.
They claim they're trading Jonnu, so we will.
Yeah,
we shall see.
I'll believe that when I see it. Bring us home. Our last fade of the night.
People are still taking Christian McCaffrey in the first round. Do not take Christian McCaffrey in the first round. He got hurt the second day of training camp last year. The second day of camp, he was out for week. Christian McCaffrey did not play until week 10. He did not play until week 10 of 2024. He played week 10, 11, 12, 13. He left week 13 early, and Christian McCaffrey is still a first-round pick. A lot of people say, well, every player is of value at a certain cost. No. I am going to tell you that Christian McCaffrey is not worth a draft pick at any cost. He will not play the whole year. He will screw your team. He's just... I love the talent. He just will... He will torpedo your team. At any cost. If you got him in the 10th round, the value of the player you could have gotten in the 10th round might be more valuable than Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey is fading. His body is breaking down. It's the temptation is there, but I can't do it at any cost.
So his cost right now, I just pulled up his keep trade cut value. And this is all dynasty based. In redraft, he's going high. In redraft, he's literally like still first or like high second, which I'm definitely not touching. In dynasty, he's sitting at RB 19 or 65th overall.
Why?
Why? When he's healthy, you got a top 3 running back. Like I think that's the thing is when we're talking about winning, like. The fourth on my love list, Christian McCaffrey. Like that was my next. Like when you're talking about dynasty, like I'll put a caveat. I love at ADP 47. I love Christian McCaffrey for the sake of winning. Like if he's healthy, if there's an if, I'm putting the caveat of I'm keeping my future firsts. If I'm getting McCaffrey on the case he's injured. Like, I don't want to trade a future first for McCaffrey and then get screwed. But, like, for the chance of having a top 3 running back to compete for the sake of a late fourth round startup pick, I'll take that chance for the sake of winning. And at worst, if he's injured, you get less max PF. Your first is higher. You regain some value. Like, that's why I'm keeping my first with him. But I think to get him in the late fourth as your RB1 with a top 3 potential, I think he has value there.
But does he have? So here are the rushing yards for Christian McCaffrey last year: 39, 79, 31, 53.
Did he
I'm
get you
sorry.
like seven?
I
Did he get you like 7 catches for 50 yards on top of that though?
Yeah, he had 7 catches for 68 yards.
I just pulled that out of my ass. Yeah, that's great.
5
That's
catches
14
for
fantasy points, right?
27 yards, 4 catches for 37 yards, 3 catches for 14 yards. McCaffrey is breaking down. Don't do it. I promise you, don't do it. I hate to say it, McCaffrey's such a good player. He's so talented. It's done. The time has run out on McCaffrey. Don't.
This isn't even what I'm about to say. Isn't a pro or anti McCaffrey take, but it's a point that I like to make about dynasty and fantasy football. Is missionary position doesn't get your wife off or win you titles. Moves like that, trading for a guy like McCaffrey at a low point or drafting him in the late 4th, early 5th is going to be what sets you apart from the rest of the teams in your league. And when he has that run of 4 or 5 weeks where he's dropping 35 a week, that wins you a fucking title. And
All right.
also, if it doesn't destroy your whole roster build if you spend a 4th on him or you traded a 2nd to get him. And again, that's not a Christian McCaffrey specific take. It's bold decisions and risk wins you fucking titles.
Yes.
You could just draft the safe, easy guy every round.
The missionary.
You get stuck back in that fucking middle, and your wife hasn't had an orgasm in 6 years. It's, I'm in there for the orgasms and the championships, baby.
That is the best soundbite ever. Orgasms and championships.
Hey, I like them both.
Let's just cut it right there. What else needs to be said?
Just don't do the scissors across the screen because then...
No, never cut it out. No Joey Gladstone. None of that.
Ha! Yeah, Uncle Joey. But that's how I feel about, like I said, not just McCaffrey, but just guys like that. Like guys, huge boom bust. Like, fuck it, in a 4th round, I'm not going to do it in every one of my leagues, but on a couple of contenders, fuck yeah, give me Christian McCaffrey, and let's see if he can give us one more, if we can catch lightning in a bottle one more time.
Nope.
Again, not necessarily a for or against, but this is the price you're paying for Derrick Henry and Barkley last year.
And how did that work out?
I mean, McCaffrey could fall apart for sure, but is it worth it?
Again, if it completely fails, it's not going to ruin your team.
It could.
It's not at a 4th round startup or what he cost to trade.
If you move the next couple of years and you get McCaffrey and these older guys, it's going to ruin you for a few years. You got to be smart when you get these players, these older, these injury prone players. Be smart about your teams. You can't get McCaffrey. You can't get Mike Evans who has injuries or Godwin. You can't get these injury prone players and trade your future firsts. That's a recipe for disaster. You gotta do it to get these players. You gotta put your team in the right spot to succeed, whether they limp off the field after one run or if they win you that championship. Like, you got to put yourself to succeed, and that's where these players have their place in value, but you need to make sure you do it right.
Roster construction, thinking about the future, your team should be a finely organized, harvested, planned out thing. You're not just going to go, oh, well, let's look at this team. I don't even care what the bench looks like or the starting lineup looks like. Let's go get Christian McCaffrey. No, he's there for some specific rosters that are right at that cusp of fucking taking the league over this year. Give me him for whatever that cost is, and I'll see if it works out or not. You're not buying him on anything but pure contenders, or you're not taking him in startups unless you went all in that startup.
Yep.
And in those leagues, I'll take the fucking shot. Not in every one, but on maybe 30, 40% just to fucking see what happens.
I am the least risk-adverse guy. I will never take the old guy, the old player. No, that's not going to pan out. I will take whatever other player, whatever the 10th round pick, I will take the upside or the youth over a guy that's a McCaffrey or a Godwin that has 1 to 2 years max. I guess that's a dynasty mindset of just upside instead of McCaffrey might have 2 good weeks. Of course, it'd be week 15, 16, like, oh, damn it. And he plays amazing in the playoffs, and you're like, you moron, Mr. Oviedo. McCaffrey smashing the playoffs, and what the hell are you talking about, you idiot? That would be my luck. That would be my luck.
My luck is when I trade for him, he gets injured. So whose luck is going to win out here?
Oh, man, I just... like McCaffrey, his body's breaking down. I would be shocked if Christian McCaffrey plays more than 10 games. Shocked. And people are still taking him in the first or second round. I don't know how or why you do that.
Yeah. Oh, that's too early for me. Late fourth, sure. First or second, not touching it.
Yeah, and again, in redraft, he's going to go around there, and I'm not going to touch him. In dynasty, I'll not necessarily draft him at a 4th, but again, on competitive teams, I'll pay around what he costs. Just in a couple of specific scenarios where I have a loaded team that just needs another explosive piece. Fuck it, you can't just go safe all the time. It doesn't work. You might win once in a while playing safe, but bold, fortune favors the bold. That's a real statement, right?
We'll
make it.
That is
paying for Christian McCaffrey is a good example of that. He's either going to fuck you or you're going to get a fucking title and a bunch of money from him. So I doubt it's going to go average. It's not going to be like, oh, well, I traded for Christian McCaffrey and he got me 11 points a game every week. No, that's not going to happen. He's either going to smash or you're going to get fucked, but I'll roll those dice.
Is it missionary, though?
No, that's what's not going to happen. There'll be nothing missionary about him. He's not going to get you 11 points a game for the whole year. He's not going to be, Steelers Najee Harris. He's either going to get you 27 a game or he's going to have to go to Germany to have his fucking hamstrings replaced by robots.
Oh, man.
One or the other, man. But shit, if he's on the field and playing, it's going to be fun. And you're going to get some points.
Those foreign games, they'll get you.
Yep.
They'll get you.
And maybe the Niners have a game over there this year. He can get the procedure done. They'll line it up with that date, and he can just stay there and wait for the team to get there, and he can show off his shiny new robot Achilles or whatever he had replaced.
And I said, oh, well, Travis Hunter can play games in Colorado with thin air. He's probably playing in London, Colorado, Jacksonville. Travis Hunter is going to be the most traveled player in the entire NFL.
Yep.
That guy.